GM everybody, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to bring you a update on my latest thoughts on the crypto market. It's a little bit controversial, it's a little bit out there. I'm not too sure whether everybody is going to agree with what I say on this video, but it really has to be said because I'm starting to see warning signs all over the place for the crypto bull run. And I really want to address some of these points, some of these factors that I'm starting to notice on the video today. Hopefully, a little bit earlier than you're going to hear from other YouTubers, other influencers, and channels out there. So, yeah, it's not really a great video if you're bullish or if you're hoping for some hopium to make you sort of feel good. So if that's what you're looking for, probably go and watch somebody else. But if you want to hear why I'm concerned and explore a little bit in terms of the bearish case for the market, then definitely stay tuned and let's jump into the charts and take a look at what I'm seeing. So obviously today, it is Thursday, the 13th of February, and let's have a look at the charts. And we'll start off by looking at Bitcoin then. So, Bitcoin looking fairly weak here. I'm not going to lie. Obviously, we can see we've kind of got red currently across the board. Vast majority of cryptos down, little bit of relative strength from S, which is the rebranded Phantom token, S for Sonic, and the odd sort of protocol showing a bit of green, but not really a lot of green at all out there. And like I say, in the short term, in the immediate term, nothing has really changed from the recent past that I've been sharing. I do expect Bitcoin still to come down and test liquidity under this range, at the low side of this range, potentially making a deviation, making some sort of wick or some sort of flush of the liquidity under this level, and I then expect us to reverse and go higher. This is my best case scenario for Bitcoin. So if you're thinking about sort of putting in longs at 96, 94, 93, I would hold off. I do think after recent data as recent as this week, we had obviously Powell speaking on Tuesday and Wednesday. Yesterday we had CPI. CPI came in above expectations. Inflation is still going up, and that has really pushed back any expectation of rate cuts anytime soon in the US. Some people are now saying it won't be until the middle of this year. Other people are now saying it won't be until the end of this year. I think Fed Chairman Powell very much knows that if he increases rates too early this year, inflation will get out of control. Obviously, President Trump wants rates down, he wants the dollar down, but this will, I think, cause such an inflation problem. Chairman Powell, his hands are literally tied. He cannot afford to mess this up. He cannot afford to pivot away from quantitative tightening anytime soon until inflation is well and truly on its way back down to 2%, which is their target rate. So people that are out there sort of saying, look, we get a Fed pivot in March or we get it like early this year, I think have to be completely honest with themselves. I actually re-entered some of my crypto positions on Tuesday in anticipation of potentially a good inflation read on the Wednesday, and we got the complete opposite. And I've now exited all of those positions again. So right now, my current positioning is spot Bitcoin and stables. That's all I'm interested in holding right now, whilst this market is so volatile. And like I say, even with that positioning, I'm still expecting that Bitcoin could come down a little bit lower here. And potentially, if we saw this type of flush event and then the recapture of 90,000 on a daily close, then I would be looking at probably entering a sort of 2x, a very low leveraged Bitcoin spot long at that level, and probably adding a little bit more to certain particular holdings. Potentially a little bit of Solana that I've sold recently around $200. I'd look to add back. I think this type of event would obviously send the majority of other coins, altcoins, other cryptos such as Solana, Ethereum, Pepe, etc. Some of the ones I've been talking about to even lower levels, and those levels could be of interest to pick some up on the basis that we sort of see this play out. But this, I'm going to caveat this. This is going to need some sort of catalyst. There has to be some catalyst coming into the markets, which is going to open up the door for liquidity to move into crypto. And right now, the market does not have that. Liquidity is what drives these markets. And in the absence of liquidity, the market will not be able to catch a bid. And I'm going to discuss really what are the warning signs. I mean, you probably are hearing a lot of opinions, a lot of people saying, I think this will happen, that will happen. This is bullish because of what we did in 2021 or 2017. No, none of that matters. They were completely different times, phases of crypto's adoption journey. And of course, a lot more new people were coming into crypto then. We had quantitative easing. Now we've got quantitative tightening. It is different. This time is very different. And the charts are showing you that. The charts are showing you that something is very different this time with crypto and this year. And we have to be honest with ourselves. We're not here to gamble. We're not here just to put all of our money on black and say, look, we think this is going to go higher and we're just going to hope and we're going to pray. I mean, the market has already had a fantastic run. Like, let's just look at where Bitcoin's come from over the last couple of years. We were down at the start of 2023, we were down at 16, 17,000, and now we're up at 96,000. That's a pretty good gain. It's not the worst time to think about de-risking or taking a little bit of profit, a few chips off the table after such a move, in my opinion. So I'm trying to be extremely realistic with you. I'm not somebody that has a vested interest in these markets going up outside of my own personal position that I just disclosed to you. Yes, I am long Bitcoin, but at the same time, my commitment to you is actually to call these markets the right way. It's not to tell you keep buying, remain hopeful, remain optimistic. Everything's about to change. Just be patient. One more week, one more month, and we're going to go off to the moon, because I've got a bunch of tokens that I've got locked up somewhere from some promotion or some deal that I've done with some project, which I then have a vested interest for crypto to remain high for the rest of this year. That's not me. I'm happy to go short this market. I'm happy to see this market fall, because I know if we really do see prices come down much lower levels, then there are going to be some fantastic buying opportunities for obviously the stable coins that I've now raised and I've got on the side. So just be honest, just stay safe, preserve capital. That is my advice to everybody. And if we just dive in a little bit more closely into obviously what's happened over the last couple of days, this is the real kicker here. It's our CPI coming in at 3%. Obviously, it was forecasted at 2.9%. Prior month was also 2.9%. So it's still going up. And of course, there's absolutely no chance that Jerome Powell or the Federal Reserve are going to even think about decreasing short-term interest rates until this is moving down. This really has to be moving down. I mean, we saw it in the threes. We saw it come in lower than expected in the mid part of last year, and that's when sort of Powell talked about starting to announce rate cuts. So of course, this is a sort of moving reading, and every single month this updates, and it could be potentially from next month we see 2.9 or we see 2.8, and we start to come down again. At that point, that will then be the catalyst for me to turn around and say, okay, actually, we're going to push on higher. Because I think the market right now is searching for reasons to be long, to be bullish. And potentially, if we do see a dump into early next month, then people will start to say, but what if? What if inflation comes in a little bit lower this month? Everything's going to send. So actually, buying here in anticipation of the macro picture starting to improve makes sense from a risk to reward perspective. Doesn't make sense up here, but it does down here. if you're a smart investor and smart trader. And then let's see, say inflation comes in high again and there's no progress. Then, of course, you look to exit your positions and potentially, you know, we've put in a distribution top and that's a high. And if that did happen, then around here I'd be saying actually the market cycle is probably over, get out. But it's too early to say that. So I'm going to be with you every step of this journey, telling you exactly what is going on, telling you how I'm positioning. If I'm getting out the market, I'm getting out of the market. If I'm starting to add in, you're going to know about it. So yeah, that's really Bitcoin. And one of the other things I just wanted to touch upon as well is I tell you what, my laptop is going so painfully slow today. Um, I really hope this loads up. But this is what I'm about to share is around unlocks. So there's just so many crypto projects currently unlocking their supply. It is really, really, really difficult to see this market catching a bid. If you look here, you can see 6 billion in unlocks over the next 180 days, mostly Solana and Sui. Full disclosure, I'm short Sui. Solana, I've sold a lot of my Solana over the last few days, over the last week. And you can see Solana has just an enormous amount of unlocks coming. And of course, these people are in massive, massive profits. Why would they not realize some of their gains and sell that Solana at these prices? These are not bad prices. I keep on telling people keep on telling me that, the price of Solana should be $1,000 a token, or it should be 500, or, like 300, 400 is like very, very conservative as a price target for Solana this year. And I'm sort of telling them, well, that's going to be a lot of buying to actually come in and push, Solana's a asset now that's worth over 100 billion TVL in terms of its value. That's going to need to be a big, big amount of buying that's coming in and speculating that Solana goes a lot higher. And I don't really see where it's coming from. In fact, I do not see the demand coming in to gobble up this supply. That I've said here, that's a lot of supply to find demand for. So this is on my X, crypto trader underscore site. If you want to come and follow me there, you're going to get obviously updates a lot sooner than I can do videos. So obviously, if you want real time updates, please do follow me on X. So yeah, kind of going back to Bitcoin, like I say, this for me is the best case scenario. The market looks really heavy, really weak right now, and I just can't see. I really can't see any reason to be bullish other than the fact we've printed a bull moon. So there's your hopium, guys. It is the bull moon. Maybe there's something that can be done with the bull moon. We're below both of the short-term SMAs, the 20 and the 50. And if we lose this 100, like I said, I think the next likely thing is we come and we test this 100 MA, and then yeah, we're going lower. How low? Who knows? Do we come all the way down to the 200-day MA? That would probably be the next step if these levels don't hold. But like I say, I do expect demand to come in. This is not just going to be a straight path down. Fundamentally, nothing has changed in terms of the Bitcoin bullish case. So, Bitcoin, it's immune. Bitcoin is immune from these unlocks. This doesn't affect Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's okay. But obviously, the other altcoins, the vast majority of altcoins have these big unlocks. And I will be doing a video very, very soon showing you the worst of the worst, the cryptocurrencies, the top cryptocurrencies, your favorite cryptocurrencies with the worst possible tokenomics. Because I do think if this market does roll over, and we're talking about if Bitcoin comes down here, puts in a rally, sees a rejection, then we're done, guys. And if you want to make money from crypto, you're going to have to be playing the short side. There's not going to be the money to be made on the long side of this market. So just looking at the liquidation heat map, when it wants to load up, we can anytime today, guys, please, would be lovely, would be absolutely lovely. You're thinking about it. Yeah. Honestly, I need a new laptop so badly, and these streams are going to be so much better then. So yeah, we've got a little bit around down to 95K. Look, I think if we go in and grab that, I see it's probably running lower, to be honest with you, if we take out this support here, potentially down to the low 90s. There's not a great amount over the last 24 hours. Obviously, there is liquidity above us, but I just think based on current price action, we're probably going to struggle to get up there. But there's your hopium again. If market makers want to run us back up to 99 towards 100,000, they can do. Obviously, bull moon, lots of liquidations just above the price. That is the hopium. But that's about all you're clutching to, I think, at this point in this market. Um, Failing another corporation comes out and announces they're adding Bitcoin to the balance sheet. Obviously, that will give all of the market a short-term bid, but it probably only lasts for a couple of days. And like I say, on the downside here, you can see really liquidations down to around 90,000. On the upside, we still have quite a lot above price. So, yeah, that is something that does support more the bullish case. And I'm just trying to remember what I'm sharing here. So this is another one for the bears. So this here is our when it wants to load up. This is our daily exchange volume. So obviously, what we want to see in a bull run is for daily exchange volume to be going up, to be trending up, to be looking healthy, so we can see that demand is coming into the space. And finally it's loaded up, so we can see here and this is really, really obvious and evident. We can see here we've got a higher high, and then we've got a lower high, another lower high, obviously equal lows. This is trending down. This is a trend. This is a downtrend, guys, and there's nothing bullish about this. We've actually made a lower high from the previous bull run. Obviously, we have been looking good. We have been making higher highs. Obviously, this can turn around. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we can definitely turn this around and shoot up from here, but I just don't really see it. And of course, we're getting very, very close to breaking down lower. So this is another one for the bears. This is another. I mean, these charts don't lie. These numbers don't lie. Okay. And this is the sort of thing you need to be focusing on. You need to be focusing on the liquidity, on the volume. These are the real indicators that are going to tell you the health of the market. And right now, the market is just not healthy. It is not healthy at all. We can see Bitcoin starting to come off more now. And what else did I want to talk about here? So we're going to flip on to another chart very briefly. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was the RSI as well. So I think I'd put a trend line on here on the RSI. If it's not on this one, it'll be on this one. Yeah, here we go. So we can see here, okay, we've got our RSI indicator down the bottom here. And what we really need to see is for this RSI trend line to break. That's going to tell us that obviously we've got strength coming into the market. If we actually look at the last time we had a similar setup, it was here. Okay. And then when the RSI got this breakout, it was here. And that was when we saw price pretty much go up only from there on. So this is another thing that I'm looking at. This is something to watch. Obviously, if we get rejected here, expect us to come down lower. What I'm thinking is we probably grind into this trend line, and then hopefully we sort of pop through, and obviously that would coincide with what I was talking about in terms of getting potentially a flush a little bit lower here. I've marked out a level potentially of interest there, but potentially we get a flush a little bit lower here, and then after that we see the bounce, and the RSI trend line does actually break, and that is what obviously could give us a lift across the entire crypto space. But still, I think we need a catalyst to see that. So just paying some attention to the RSI trend line. It's not really valid on the daily. It's obviously more on the weekly here, but you can see what I'm looking at there, and that could be the thing that then gives us our next leg higher and potentially up to 110, 120,000. But it's premature right now. We're close to it, but we are not yet there. So I think, rather than go into too many more charts, the dollar a little bit down today. I think the dollar's probably going to hang around here. Might even take one more leg higher just based on what's going on macro wise in terms of the, inflation being high still. There are no cuts to come anytime soon. It's hard to see the dollar going for a complete breakdown yet. So potentially that breakdown does happen, but it does happen later on. Just in terms of altcoins, if you're holding altcoins, I know everybody's been talking about, this big wick here and how bearish this is for Bitcoin dominance. And to be fair, Bitcoin dominance is starting to stall here, but I do see Bitcoin dominance running up to around 72, 73%. Very, very hard to see that not happening. And obviously, this would coincide probably with Bitcoin coming down and testing a little bit lower into the 80s and potentially altcoins taking another dump, Bitcoin probably leading the breakout higher. And then at that point, probably in a couple of months' time, if Bitcoin has been able to find a catalyst turnaround, lead the market higher, then we see some sort of relief and we do get that move later on in the year in altcoins, which many people are looking for and hoping for. But I've got to say, I mean, this might not happen. We might just go up to 70%, grind around there, and push on even higher than that. I mean, there's no real ceiling on this chart until we actually get up to 100%. So, if you're in altcoins, just be really careful out there. And I just think right now, your focus has to be capital preservation. That is my focus right now, is capital preservation. Obviously, if we get lower into the extremes here on this Bitcoin chart, then that potentially for me is going to be a good long opportunity. Otherwise, I'm expecting best case scenario some sideways over the next couple of days and weeks, and let's keep an eye on things. We need to keep an eye on the daily exchange volume. We need to keep an eye on the RSI. We need to keep an eye on what the Fed's doing, what the dollar's doing, what the stock market's doing. There's so many pieces to this, and obviously I'm going to do my best to share with you things as I'm seeing them. If things are looking bad, I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to just be sugar coating these videos. Can't even get my words out. It's been a few days. But I'm not just going to be telling you what you want to hear, because it'd be very easy for me to just come out and say, yeah, sharing fractals from the last 2021 bull market and saying, look, guys, it's February. This is when altcoins are about to go full send, and all this does is it gets people to lose their money. I think a lot of influencers and creators are doing a massive, massive disservice to their following by sharing completely irrelevant information they know is completely irrelevant, but they just want to keep people in this market so they can dump their locked shit coins at better prices. Pardon for my language, but it's something I feel really strongly about, and you're not going to find any of that with me. I'm going to keep on telling you this market, calling this market how it is, exactly how I see it. I don't think we've called this market too wrong so far, especially on Bitcoin. I'll have to admit, I've taken the L on Ethereum. Ethereum is looking super weak, and the hopium is we come back down to 2000 and we hold it. The bear case is we just completely fail here at this level, and Ethereum goes lower. I'll get into Ethereum on a separate video because I've got a lot to say on Ethereum. I've been doing a lot more research. I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of people, a lot smarter than I am on the actual, ins and outs, inner workings of the blockchain and crypto and Ethereum and DeFi, and just it's really talking about the problem with inflation on the Ethereum chain. The fact, Ethereum is now inflationary, and it potentially goes into some sort of death spiral if it can't get back to being deflationary again, which is a major concern. Yes, there's a lot of shorts right now on Ethereum, but they're on Ethereum for a good reason. I think they're probably very smart people that know exactly Ethereum's fate, unless something major happens to actually, bring some liquidity into Ethereum. Solana as well, I think, comes down to the mid 100s. Massive unlock that I just mentioned. So be really, really safe in these things. And yeah, just just try and step back and look at these markets objectively. And if anybody's got any theories as to why actually I'm wrong and I should be more optimistic and bullish and alt season's still going to happen, then please do put in the comments. Like I say, these paths I'm sharing, this is the bullish path. I think on the next video I'll probably explore what the bearish path is. That'll probably upset even more people. So it's probably a bit too much for one video to go so bearish. But yeah, things are not looking good. And just my general, none of this is financial advice, but just my general life advice to anybody watching this. I don't know how much money you've got in crypto. Probably, if you're watching me, you're pretty heavily invested or pretty heavily involved. Just be really careful this year, because I think a lot of people are gonna uh, be in for a nasty surprise when things don't completely work out how they're expecting things to work out. And it could be that we see a pretty bearish year this year for cryptocurrency, and then a bull run, or more bullish, favorable conditions next year. I think the 4 year cycle potentially, with Bitcoin breaking to new all-time highs sooner this year due to, or last year, quicker last year due to the ETFs. Potentially the ETFs have accelerated this cycle. People seem to see like, oh, it's going to be lengthened, but actually I think potentially it's gone the other way, and potentially we're actually seeing an accelerated cycle. Therefore, we'll see potentially an accelerated bear market or a prolonged bear market. And that'll be, the end of the bear market is going to be the time that you really want to deploy significant capital back into this market, not right now. So it's been a bit of a longer one than I expected. So I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed the content and the work I'm doing, please do hit the like. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to hear more. Like I say, I'm going to be with you every step of the way. This market is very difficult, very challenging, but I'm committed to giving you the best information I can and always keeping it real 100%. That is my promise. So you'll never get any shilling from me. You'll never get me, trying to pump things and dump it on you guys. I am here, same as you are, just looking how to, get what I can from this market by either longs or shorts, or investing, or going to stables as and when at the right times. So have a fantastic day, and talk to you all on the next one. GM, GM, GM.